What's going on? I'm Andy Cooper.
I'm Dizzy. My mother calls me Dustin.
And I'm young Einstein.
We are Ugly Duckling. We're from Long Beach, California.
Place to be. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yo, in the place to be. Since 1992, we are the record-making and the record-making and I'm going to make it 7, 6, I think we're right there.
We formed in 1993. We used to work at a fast food restaurant together, and we were involved in different groups and cliques and whatnot, but we decided that we would be, if together, a formidable force in hip-hop culture. So we united and joined like Voltron and went about making music for the world, although it didn't really play out. So
who's the head of Voltron?
Ooh, we don't want to answer that. That could start problems. We didn't quite go out as triumphantly as all that, but what we did, we started a band, and we've been slowly inching our way toward working class status.
Toward the American dream.
The American dream is right.
The American dream is seen as many things within American culture, but what connection do you think it has within hip hop?
I think the American dream is very entrepreneurial in the sense that I'm going to go to America, like an immigrant way of thinking. I'm going to go to America and I'm going to make it for my family, and I'm going to establish myself. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to buy a house. There's no limits to what I can do in the U.S. and people come from countries where there's huge limits on what you can do, especially third world countries. Like, say where we live in California, there's, I think, 2-3 million Mexicans and South Americans who cross the border every year, coming from absolutely no opportunity and poverty to try and make it for their family. And I think what you see in hip hop is a very similar notion of I have what it takes as an individual to start my own group, to control my own destiny and make huge money, get my fame, my artistic vision out there for people, and I can do it on my own. I can take control of the situation. And that's a real American way of thinking from the get-go. It's just kind of a pioneer way of thinking, like, I'm just going to get on the road and go there and make it on my own. I don't need other people. And I think hip-hop is very much an individualist art form. I mean, look, the lyrics are always, I'm better than you, I'm the dopest, I'm the tightest, whatever. And I think that's why it was born in America, because only America in the last 100 years has really been the setting for that way of thinking.
What impact do you think hip-hop has had on culture as a whole?
Well, it's had a massive impact on world culture. I mean, being that 20 years ago, hip-hop couldn't even be on the radio, and it was only marketed or used in very sparse ways. Maybe you see a breakdancer here or there, or somebody popping. And now, I mean, fashion-wise, people wear things they see 50 Cent wear, and not only that, but those guys actually make clothing. And you had the Wu Wear, G-Unit stuff, Snoop clothes, in Sprite commercials, in Snoop Dogg has his own model of Cadillac or something. I mean, it's just such a, and I think the industry's minds, it's the music of the youth, and it's the means to communicating with youth. So it's the thing. It's the highest selling music in the world, and we might have a difference of opinion as to what true hip hop culture is and what hip hop commercialism is, but some shade of that is certainly taken over the world.
What advice could you give to the youth today who wants to get into the music industry, more as hip hop?
I would say basically just do something else. Become a doctor or lawyer. It only takes like 4 to 8 years to become, like I said, a doctor or a lawyer.
But if the
hip
kids
hop-
want to rap, man, help them out,
If you
man.
want to rap, you want. I mean, bottom line, if you really believe in what you want to do, you can do it. You know, what I mean, if you have, it takes a lot of work. It's not just like, oh, some major label's gonna sign me. Next thing you know, I'm on the front page of Source magazine, and I got the diamonds, and I got the women, I got the Cristal bottles. It's a very hard road. You know, we've been doing it since '93, and we're still, you know, we're traveling the globe. Our music is universal, but we're still working hard. It's not as easy as it looks. You know what I mean? I think a lot of kids get a vision of like, oh man, I'm gonna start rapping, and I mean, like he said, it's the #1 selling music. You know what I mean? There's a lot of kids out there that are trying to do it, and there's a lot of competition, and it's hard work. But if you're willing to work hard, you know what I mean, it can happen for you.
And it, like, since we started, it's a lot cheaper now that you can just do it on computer programs at home.
But that also means there's more competition too.
Definitely.
More people putting out records. So you have to find your individual voice and express yourself in a unique way to set yourself apart from other people. I think that's the most important thing in any business or art form. Is how do you make yourself recognizable? How do you put your own thing out there and your take on something? So, as opposed to, I'm going to pretend to be ludicrous, or I'm going to do an impression of whoever's popular. It's like, concentrate on finding your own voice.
Yeah. So what would you say your future objectives is now?
Basically, we're just promoting a new album. But as far as the future is, concerns, we want to keep doing funky music. We do a different type of hip hop. You know, we like the true school vibe, and a lot of people call it happy hip hop, or West Coast hip hop, or nerd hip hop, or whatever. But we just love the culture. You know what I mean? We love. I mean, Einstein's an avid digger. He does everything possible. He's out there constantly buying records, and we more or less do it for the art form of it. You know what I mean? So I think that when it comes down to it, that's it. You know, you just gotta do it for the art form.
You know, what's really difficult in hip hop, like how we were alluding to before, is establishing a name for yourself, like in any business. And it's very valuable to have a good brand name. So when people see Ugly Duckling, they think, oh, that's quality. They're good. Yeah. It's very difficult to establish that. So.
Or it's shite. You know what I mean? It's terrible. You know, or we definitely know where our audience is at and what we're trying to do.
So we've been trying to establish that name, and we have to some degree, but you just want to always maintain it or grow it a little bit, and that takes touring and putting projects out and doing stuff like this, and just trying to get in any way, shape, or form recognition from the public and from the people who are into the music. How
did the actual name of the Duckling come about? That's very interesting.
Well, like we formed in '92, '93, and during that time it was a huge G-Funk era. You have Warren G, you had the Dog Pound, you have Snoop. Everybody was gangster, and it was like our favorite music, or my favorite music, was like Tribe Called Quest, De La, Native Tongue, and that type of hip hop, and it was flooded with G-Funk and gangster rap, and we didn't fit in with that. And as the story goes, the Ugly Duckling didn't fit in with the rest of the ducks because he was a swan. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like that, and plus Black Sheep was taken. You know what I mean? So it, and it was the only thing all three of us could agree on. So that's where the name came from.
Yeah, geez. When I'm on the scene, I'm gonna be back, cheeks sweet. Got the best shit, who you dance to me. I paint a pretty picture like I was there to go. Walking on the clouds, you call me Rambo. Hollywood shuffle with Tony and Rambo. When I'm always started like Marlon Brando. I'm really fast as a Ruben Detect, cause that's the right blow. There's so many slaps, they what? When you fall on like the horse, it's all petty. It's a new song, get ready, he's ready. For you, are you ready? Are you ready? You better get ready. If you are, say I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. 7, 6, we can't do one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you better be ready.